Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Good morning. I'm Donovin Darius, former 10-year NFL player, motivational speaker, professional life strategist, and author. And you are joining me yet again for episode number 8, that is, of the Next Level Motivational Book Reading. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. Definitely come on in. As you come on in, definitely don't forget to invite someone else. Don't forget to invite someone else as you come on. Hit that share button. Hey, what's up, Coach Bob? Hey, hit that share button so other people can join in the journey with you as well for this 20 minutes of encouragement, inspiration, and motivation as you're getting your day started. If you're enjoying these sessions, do me a favor. Let me know. Click a 1 real quick. Just let me know that you're enjoying these. And then if you got time, what is the most thing that you're enjoying about this journey that we're on? What is the biggest thing? The question is, what is the biggest thing that you're enjoying out of this book reading? What is that for you? Thank you for everybody who's been sending me. I've been getting a lot of feedback already on how the book has been blessing people who have received it, how it's encouraged them, how it's helped them see life from a different perspective. They're in the same situation, but they're seeing life from a different perspective. And so I want to welcome you guys and thank you guys for that as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that way you can get all of these. So that way we continue to go. So today, you guys, I'm going to do the book reading, but after this, I'm going to do another Facebook Live session where I'm going to share some different things where talking about what do you do in the midst of your season of trials and temptation. Okay, when you're in the midst, what is some wisdom for when you're in the midst of your season of trials and tribulations? And so, again, as I mentioned to you guys, I'm going to give you guys a quick little morning view here, just again. As I mentioned before, every year I take a sabbatical. That's a time away where I just kind of get away, break away, to relax, to restore, recover, rejuvenate, all the re's, right? And so this is my week that I get a chance. And so beautiful day. It's a way in which I get a chance to rewrite the vision all over again. So I'm going to give you guys a great little morning. Here we are live in the morning here. There may be a little hitch in the signal here because of low strength. But I just want to say good morning to everybody. Rise and shine. Again, just knowing again, when you wake up in the morning, this is already there. This is still there. And so sometimes we wake up in the morning or we go through our day and we get ready to have a tough day. And just one thing you always want to remember, the sun is always shining. You just may not be able to see it. This beauty is always there. You just may not be able to see it. And so sometimes it takes to recall things. It takes us to be able to get away. It takes us to be able to basically go to a place in our minds or even literally so we can go ahead and receive the beauty that is. Because it's just like life. Sometimes when we go through life, we may only see what we're experiencing at that moment. And so therefore that maybe becomes our outlook. That becomes a vision we have. But how many of you guys know that yet still, despite what our situation is, there's a whole lot that's still going on. There's a lot of beauty around if we're looking for it. And so I want to welcome everybody again to today's book reading again. This is episode number 8. And so as a quick recap and really quick, the first time we talked about last week, the world of motivation and everything that deals with that. Last week we talked about the first chapter, which was about knowing your value, self-love. What is the results of self-love? And we talked several things around that: self-discovery, self-concept, self-image, self-esteem. What are those things? And today, then at the end, we asked some questions, okay? So if you missed those, definitely go to my YouTube page, Donovin Darius, and you can definitely catch up to where we're at. And at the end of each chapter of this book, there's about 10 questions for you to dig a little deeper. Okay, so that way you can make the lesson more applicable to yourself. All right, and so again, as we kind of get into chapter 2, we started talking yesterday about life is a journey. Life is a journey. And in that, we talked about purpose is the end that started everything. Purpose is the original intent. Purpose is the very reason why something is. Purpose is the very cause for something. And yesterday we talked about several principles of purpose. Number 1, understanding this, that everything in life has a purpose to it. And that there's a purpose to everything. And we talked about also that, that in life, we may not, although there's a purpose for everything, we may not know the purpose of everything. It simply means that there may be a purpose for something that you may be going through your life right now, a season right now, an action right now, a thought right now, a fact right now, but you don't understand what the purpose is of it. There's things going around in our country, there's things going around in our family, and you don't understand the purpose. You may have had a dream last night, and you don't understand the purpose of it. And so it can get you a little anxious or it gets you a little nervous, so you wonder what to do with it. And so after a little time, sometimes purposes will then be revealed. And so understanding this, number one, everything has a purpose. Number two, there's a purpose to everything. Number three, okay, although there's a purpose to everything, the purpose is not known to man. And number four, we talked about that if you don't know the purpose of something, you will abuse it. If you don't know the purpose of something, you will abuse it. Abuse it basically means abnormally use it. You would not use it to the capacity in which it was designed. You would try to make up something for it. You'll do it. You'll basically improvise with it. For example, if you don't know the purpose of your life, the gifts you have, your imagination, your memory, okay, your reasoning skills, your will, all those different things, your intuition, if you don't know the purpose of it, you're going to abuse it. You're going to abnormally use it. You're going to use your memory to hold on to negative stuff. Okay, to hold on to stinking thinking. You're gonna use your memory to hold on to remember the bad things of your life. You're not gonna use your imagination to really think about who you can be, what you can be, see yourself differently. If you don't understand that, if you don't understand about the purpose of your perception, then you'll be able to look at life through a certain lens of what people have told you, or what you're listening to, or what's on the news, or what the latest and greatest is. Versus understanding that, you know what, you have the ability to perceive anything you want. Two people can look at the same thing and see something totally different. You have that ability. Nobody can make you do it. Nobody can force you to see something the way you want to see it. And so it works in both ways. You can see it for the positive, you can see it for the negative. And so again, if we don't know the purpose of things, we will abuse them. If you don't know the purpose of this season of your life on your job, maybe you're in training, maybe you're in transition right now, maybe you just got released or let go, or you got fired or you quit, whatever. Maybe you're in transition in relationships right now, and you don't understand the purpose of this season right now. If you don't know it, you may abuse this situation. You may find yourself running to this, running to that. If you don't know the purpose of conflict, adversity, if you don't know the purpose of it, you can abuse yourself in that situation. What does that mean? You can turn to the alcohol bottle. You can turn to snapping on people. You may not understand that adversity comes to do three things: test you, teach you, and train you. You don't understand it because you never understood the purpose of it. And so living life on purpose has everything to understanding what is the original intent. What is the benefit of why I'm going through? What is the very reason? And because man may not know every purpose to everything, abuse is inevitable. And so again, as we walk through life, man, we want to continue to discover the purposes of them. And there's some purposes you may not know at that moment, but through a specific amount of time, given a little bit of time, I'm sure you can remember. I'm sure you realize the situation in your life where you look back and something happened and you didn't understand at that moment. You thought it was going to kill you. You thought it was going to make you go lose your mind. You thought it was going to break you. You thought that was it. But when you look back and you gave it time, you realize, you know what? If that didn't happen, I wouldn't have done this. If that didn't happen to me, I would have did this. You know, if that person didn't break up with you, didn't cheat on you, if that person didn't get you out of life, you didn't get fired from that situation, if you didn't move on, if you didn't retire, then guess what? You would have never met this person. You never came into this situation. So there's a purpose to everything. And everything has a purpose to it. All right, so we talked about that yesterday. Again, so if you missed that, definitely go back. So today, we're going to continue in chapter 2 here. Okay, we'll continue in chapter 2. Okay, here we go. When most people think of the word purpose, it makes them think of what they should be doing. I want to introduce you to the idea that purpose has more to do with who you are becoming. Your purpose is much more about your original intent, design, and the finished product that you'll become than it is about who you are right now. As you travel down the street, and we talked about this yesterday, you may notice an empty parking lot with a sign up. On this sign, it may have a picture on the building that will soon be built. This building's design, although not yet actualized or manifested, has already been completed in the mind of the maker. The architect took their time thinking about what they wanted to create, what it would look like, where it would be located, and the very purpose that it would fulfill. No matter what type of building it winds up, it has a purpose to fulfill. Whether it becomes a bank that allows people to house and invest their money, or maybe an office building where organizations operate their business. Because that building has a design purpose, everything on the picture hanging on in that lot has a purpose. You see, once the purpose is established, the drawing is complete and the plans have been submitted for approval, the real journey begins. The journey consists of all the steps necessary to bring that building to life. Every contractor is part of the journey. Every building stage is part of the journey. There are usually phases within construction where there's setbacks, mistakes, and even perceived failures. No matter what happens during the construction process, every stage plays a significant part in the finished purpose of that building. The same is true for your life. You're not beginning a life without any direction or a blueprint. Instead, you're here to complete something that was already designed and mapped out for you to accomplish. You alone were chosen to deliver it. You see, every stage of your life, whether good or bad, is part of the finished product that you are now manifesting into. But you can't paint walls before they're raised any more than you can arrive at the end of your journey before completing each stage. Your life is a journey with each moment playing an essential role in order to arrive at a successful and prosperous destination, a purpose that was predestined for you. You see, in that reading, in that segment right there, just understand this concept, that everything has a purpose to it. And the way the Bible and the way the designer makes anything, when I talk about God, okay, I'll put it in even very practical understanding. God being the creator, the designer, the manufacturer, just like any product that is, the designer, the manufacturer. When a designer, manufacturer makes that product, they start first with the idea. So just the ideal, they start with the ideal, then they give it thought. Then they think on that ideal. Then after that ideal, they then start to put it on paper. Okay, then they start to really now actualize it. They start to shape it, draw it out, write it out. Then after they write it out, they draw it out. Okay, then they start to assign the different areas of their life. Then they start to bring it to pass. As they're bringing it to pass, it may take a certain amount of time to bring to pass. You see, what the phase that I'm talking about, and something that most people don't understand, is a law. It's a principle. There's a principle that governs the very fact from the moment of the ideal from the ideal to the actual manifestation of it. And that law talks about is the law of gender. The law of gender is a principle. Remember, a principle is something that is true at every moment, at every time for everybody. And that law of gender basically says that there's a certain period of incubation in time for that everything must go through in order for it to actualize itself or manifest. So is the same thing for you. There at every stage of your life, whether it was good or whether it was bad, is and was a part of a greater purpose. Every stage. Now, I know I can hear someone saying, Donovan, but when I was young and I got abused and my mom or my dad, this, that, and the other, when I was in this relationship and he or she did this, that, and the other, or when I did this, or when I got into an accident, or I did this, I know. How in the world is that part of the plan? Well, I'm here to tell you it is. It is. You see, there's a passage in my motivational manual, the guide that I look at to help me with my life and keep me on a roadmap. It says this. It said, God, the creator, will cause all things to work out for your good. That means cause all things. That means no matter what it is, somehow, some way, it will be caused to work out for your good. Somebody might have meant something for bad, but God caused it for good. He was able to cause it and work it out for good. And see, working out things take time. So that means right away it may not look like it's working out for your good, but you give it time. You stay on the mill. You stay in the press. You keep walking. You keep encouraging yourself. You keep being positive. You develop that positive mental attitude. You keep believing. You keep trusting. You keep moving forward one step at a time. I ain't say skip steps. One step at a time. One step at a time. You're going to see that's going to work out for your good. Why? Because the way every designer works is that they begin with the end in mind. Every designer begins with the end in mind. And so as they begin with the end in mind, then they back up and then they start. And so the very principle of understanding this is that because something started, you can rejoice because that means it already has an end to it. And so there's another passage in my manual that talks about, it says, God says, the plans that I have for your life are all good. None of them to harm you, but to give you a future and an expected end. Do you have an expected end that you have in mind? Is there something in your life that you're looking forward to doing or becoming? Well, I'm here to tell you that the journey is not over yet. keep moving, keep walking, keep going, keep trusting, keep believing, keep these things. Because at the end of the day, you got to remember this. Black and white are not two separate things. They're the same thing, but the opposite sides of the spectrum. Good and bad are the same things. They're just the opposite of the spectrum. Light and dark is the same thing. It's one of the same thing. There's two opposites of the spectrum. Remember, heat and cold is part of the same thing. They're not two separate things. So that means the more attention I put towards heat, the further away I'm getting away from cold. The less cold is going to be impacting me. The more I put attention towards heat, the more I draw to it. Same thing for you. Prosperity and poverty are not two different things. They're part of the same line. They're part of the same journey. But again, they're part of the same thing. It's just opposite ends. The more you start moving towards the action, the ideal, the thought, the vision, the steps that it takes towards your prosperity, okay, to believe in all that, the less you get away from the poverty. It's just a principle. It's a law. And if I can get you to remember anything and understand that, listen, laws work for anybody and everybody all the time. And so in your life today, as you're continuing to walk out your life today and you're understanding about purpose, know this. The situation that happened for you, you know what I mean? The situation that happened for you, it may be neither good nor bad. It just is what it is. Now, you're going to define how good or bad it is. You're going to define what it works out to be. You're going to define. It's on both sides. It's up to you to decide if it's bad or if it's good. If you look at it as good, if you look at it as working something in you, then you're going to see the brightness in it. You're going to see how it's helping you. Okay, watch this. There was nothing good perceivably about the shooting that happened in Jacksonville or any murders that happened all around. There's nothing good about it, okay, at first glance. Nothing good. A life taken is never a good thing. But here's some of the things that it can do. It can produce an uproar. It can produce an uproar in the lives of the people of the community to say, we got to do something. We got to do something. We can't just sit back and hope things happen. We have to do something. And so sometimes a life being sacrificed to produce a greater good for the generation and the next generation is worth it. Because at the end of the day, what we have now is just a small moment in time. Because we will live eternal. And because it's a small measure of time, sometimes it's one of those things where you say, you know what, is it worth you giving up 5 minutes to be able to live the rest of your day in peace and harmony? Well, that's the same way it can be. It can be when we lose lives. Okay, this person's life. That's why the Bible even says sometimes, there's more glory in death than there is life, than there is birth. Why? Because every time you go to a funeral, you hear about death. What does it do majority of the time? It wakes you up to understand that life is short. What does it then do? It helps you start beginning to think about the importance of life, the importance of your decisions, the importance of your relationship, the importance of maximizing your time. Guess what? A death did that. And so remember, everything has a purpose to it. And there's a purpose to everything. May you see life from the perspective and move in the direction of the side that helps you, that encourages you, that moves you closer to your destination. Because at the end of the day, that's what life is about. Life is a purpose. Life has purpose to it. Listen, you're on this journey with me in Next Level Motivation, Principles for Living Life to the Fullness. This is the book reading. And so again, I want to thank you guys, man. Listen, you can definitely pick up your copy. The copies are only $10.95, and you can find it on Amazon. Okay, $10.95. You'll get your book signed. It'll be signed, and do an autograph signing for it as well, and send it to you. The reason why these books are here, I want to continue the conversation. I want to give you something that can ask you the questions when I'm not around to help you take your life to the next level. And so, listen, man. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know I am. And what's a blessing for me is that I get a chance to walk alongside you, and I get a chance to help, and you get a chance to ask questions, and we get a chance to grow together. So as you walk through today, here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at everything through the lens of purpose. And if you say, okay, do I know why this is happening? Or do I know the original intent for this, the original design for this? And if you know what the original design is, you know why it's happening to you, then I want you to take the steps in a positive direction and become all that you're meant to become. But if you find yourself in a place where you're saying, I don't know what the purpose of this is, then all I want you to do is I want you to remain open. I want you to remain open. 2 words, remain open. And what remain open mean is don't put the stake into the ground and say, this is it. This is why this is happening. Don't you define it if you don't know right now. And if what you do know about it is bringing you to if it's not bringing you to a positive thing. It's just like something bad happens, right? Or something that we don't like to happen. Some of the first things people do is, oh, I'm being punished. You know, now, yes, are there consequences to breaking our laws? You know what I mean, to breaking the principles that govern life? Yes, there are. But sometimes those very consequences are needed to happen. You see, me growing up with a mom who didn't spare the rod, you know what I mean, so the child don't get spoiled, you know, with the rod, the belt, the switch, the twitch, the cable cord, all that stuff. I'm still mad at Miss Beverly next door for introducing her to that darn telephone switch. But that switch, that twitch, as a child, I didn't like it. But I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. I hated it. Matter of fact, she said, go get the belt. And all of a sudden, why is it that I can never find the belt? Why is it every time I got set to go get the belt, I could never find the belt, or I only found the little belt that came with the little toys? You know what I'm saying? It couldn't do no damage. But what did that belt help me with? That belt built into me some discipline. It built in me the very fact that, you know, there are consequences to my action. And if I'm not walking according to the very principles and governing laws of my own home, how can I ever expect to walk according to the governing laws of this world and this society? And so growing up in that type of situation, I was being trained. Did I like the beatings? No, I didn't. But were they training me for the responsibility that I was going to have to bear when I was outside of my mom's home, my mom and dad's home? Yes, it was. And so even though I didn't understand the purpose then, but I heard her say it then, it didn't make sense then, but I see it now. I am the man I am because of my mom, because of what my mom and my dad did. I'm the man that I am now because I was disciplined, because my mom didn't spare the rod. I'm the man I am because correction was there, and they were quick to correct, quick to build up, not just criticize, but quick to parent me. And so again, as you walk through your life today, I want you to look through that lens of perspective, and I want you to look through the lens of purpose and see, okay, well, what is the purpose of this? This message I'm sharing to you today has a purpose. There's a purpose. There's something you need to hear with this. It may or may not be revealed to you at this moment. And so again, what's interesting, what I would look forward to, if you're getting something out of this message, do me a favor, type of 2 right now. If you understand, if you're going to walk through today with the lens of purpose, you know what I mean, as your focal point, type of 2 today. Let me see, go ahead and be recognized as well. And then lastly, I would just want to let you guys know, continue to, I'm going to be doing several series during this time here. I'm going to create a lot of different videos, a lot of different content on different areas of personal and professional development, which I'm excited about. And like I said, a lot of those things will be available on YouTube. So definitely check out the YouTube page as well, Donovin Darius there. And then if you're on social media, the other ones, definitely follow me on there as well. On Instagram, Donovin Darius Empowers, Twitter @Donovin Darius. And then, of course, on Facebook. You may have seen a post yesterday. I'm moving all these live videos. I'm going to give you a warning. I'm moving all these live videos and the quotes and all that to my new pages, okay? The All Pro Motivation page, which is a motivational page that's going to give you the different wisdom, insight, words, videos that you need to take your life to the next level. So definitely get over there, All Pro Motivation. Go ahead and like and follow that page and sign up for notifications so that you'll get notified there. And then if you know people that just want to get in contact with me, because this Donovin Darius page is so small, you know what I mean, only like 5,000 people can be on it right now. I have a page, Donovin Darius public page on Facebook, in which, again, that allows anybody from all over, an unlimited number of people that want to get connected, that want to take their lives to the next level. So listen, man, you guys be blessed today. I want to give a quick shout out, you know what I mean, to everybody out there. May you have a great day today on this day that you're watching this. Go out and be great. Live life on purpose. It's meant for you. The end, okay, you began with the end in mind. And guess what? Here you are starting the journey. Starting the journey of a new day. May you be blessed today and have a great one, man. God bless you all. Love you all. Bless you all in Jesus' name. Hallelujah.